Hello, good morning everybody. Happy Thursday, September 4th. And we are now in the last part of getting my next 9x12 out. I'm pretty much done with selling ads. I have one more advertiser that I have to follow up with to see if he actually wants to close on like a little small ad that I reached out to last week, but I haven't heard back yet. He sounded like he was up for it, just wanted to make sure I was legit, but I haven't had a chance to call him yet. So hopefully today I'll be able to connect with him and see about selling that last spot out. But that will be about a wrap for my latest card. So this was my last one. So he's back, he's not back, he's back. New design, slightly different design. We're doing a smaller ad for the fish farm, smaller new design. It's gonna be about the same design for him, getting rid of this whole thing, doing another giveaway. This time I'm gonna do a Publix gift card. Everybody needs groceries, are expensive. So I'll see if that compared to Chick-fil-A gets me more or less takers on the giveaway. These guys never confirmed, so they'll be out. So what I'm gonna do today is kind of walk through what spots I have on the card and kind of go through what they're looking like. See if you guys wanna give me some critical feedback on how everything's looking. And because I'm recording this on my little Action 4 by Osmo, I can actually show my design screen as we're going through and see if this works. All right, so that's a new advertiser that found me on YouTube. He is a copywriter, ghostwriter, and he saw the power of EDDM, has looked into doing it before, but it's always been so expensive, so he wants to try it in my market down here. So he reached out to me and we connected. So he's going to be featured on the card, and with his offer, he actually is based up north, but since it's a kind of virtual service, he can do it anywhere. And he actually already had miamighostwriter.com. And so he's going to be able to use that as his email address and link people to get to know his offer. It's a nice, it stands out on the card because it's like a very basic kind of style. Whereas everything is usually over-designed, lots of colors and stuff. It calls out with its simplicity, especially going out to the demographic we're going to. It might actually connect more with them. So we're gonna try that out. This was my old design for the Paver's company. He wanted to do something match his other flyers, so he sent that file separately. So I'll just throw that up on the screen in editing, so you can kind of see what that design looks like. I don't like it as much, but you know, insisted. I even like tried just adding some background like shadows to things, or something to like give a little bit of layer to it. So his logo would stand out and everything else. He insisted on wanting to run it as is, so we'll see how that goes. Then we got my pawn shop guy. I went back and forth with him. I have to follow up with him and close him out. But that's basically the same kind of style, big bold headline, slightly more of a call to action there, saying call to schedule a visit. See if that gets people to call, because otherwise they just see a phone number. They're not being told to do something with it, so they might not. And also put on the scan to read our 5-star reviews, see if that gets some more scans this time around. Our painting company, their new ad design there. Decided to go with a different headline, calling it out there. More of a lighter background. Sometimes those seem to pop off the page more. The dark background in the background of the card, having that light background should help it stand out more. Put a big special on there. So I asked the advertiser, what kind of sale can you run? Like what kind of like offer can you do? I was like, $500 off an exterior paint job. He's like, oh, that. And then, people might think they're painting their door. They get $500 off painting their door. So I was like, okay, what other kind of offers do you do? He's like, oh, back when I was on Angie's List, I had this great deal, $349 special, any rooms, walls with up to 2 gallons of paint, like $349. Like, that's great. That's simple, easy to know the value. Sometimes people don't want percentage offs or even dollars off because they don't know what the actual cost is. So I think this might actually work a lot better for him than the prior ad because he has a very specific value-driven proposition on his ad there. So I'm looking forward to getting that on there. This is a pest control company that I called. He was on my list that my cold caller talked to that I was interested in. I called him like 2 weeks ago, still sounded interested, wanted me to send him some information. I texted him, he liked the design I put together, just like disappeared since then. I haven't gotten a chance to get back through to him, but I haven't been pushing very hard, so to be fair. I've been working on finalizing the rest of these designs and kind of closing out the logistics of the card. I have another card that I was doing for a cybersecurity company that was a targeted mailing that I had to kind of get that finished off and focused on so that I could get that card out, because part of it is a big football schedule for the pro team down here. And so it's most relevant when it's the beginning of the season and people, don't already have the calendar and they want to save it. So let's see if I can change lanes here. So that's those. Other ad designs, I'll just throw them in the top since I'm driving. I can't do it on my phone right now. But I have a gutter company that first I had like a maintenance kind of offer on there, and they said that they want to focus more on new installations. So I reworked their ad, focus on that, said good to go. The fish farm ad, I decided to simplify that with a smaller space this time since I sold more of the bigger spaces. So putting that on there. I reached out to a bunch of restaurants. I had one restaurant that said that they were good to go on it. They sent me their design. So it's like a buy one, get one free coupon for a place that's in one of the malls down here. I think I'm gonna maybe make their space a double, because I gave them a free single space. I might just double it just because I have a little bit of space left on the card. Possibly, maybe not, we'll see. We have our giveaway for the $50, it's gonna be a Publix gift card. I'm also gonna do another thing inspired by the Alex Hormozi book, $100 Million Offers, which I got my copy now, or $100 Million Money Models, about a giveaway. So I'm gonna put an ad on there saying something like, do you know a business that you'd love to see on here? Enter them to win a free spot on the next card. With a little QR code, and it'll have a basic form where they can just scan it, enter their name, the business name, and a little story about them and why they should be featured on the card for free next time. So we'll see how that works, if that works for good lead gen experiment. It'll be like a small space, same as my giveaway space for the Publix gift card, just to see. I like to experiment with little things. See what else do I have on the card. My Publix adjuster, same ad, design, everything. I reached out to him last week, asked him if everything good the same. He was like, yeah, man, let's roll it. So we're throwing that out there. Who else is going to be on this card? I'm trying to think on the back. So my security guard company, he has a spot. I redesigned his in there, put a coupon code on there. So see if that helps get him a little more response this time around. I simplified his ad versus the last time so that it might be easier for people to read, not be overwhelmed by all the other offers that he has on there, kind of focus on the 3 big points. I have to record a video at some point just kind of going through how I redid some of these ads. Basically, what I did is I have Claude, which is like an alternative to ChatGPT, and I have the free account and it allows me to send multiple images. So what I do is I have an image in my ad, send it to them, be like, this is for a direct mail campaign on a shared mailer, spell out everything you're working on with it. And then it would give me advice. I could have a better headline, should have more contrasting colors, maybe do something like this. I have this kind of offer, your call to action is kind of bland, try something like this. And so it gave a lot of ideas to go back and forth with. I'd make some edits, send it back to it again, and I said, okay, that's great. So, it's talking with a robot, but it sounds like things that make sense given the other context of other conversations that I've had about my ad designs. So I did that a number of times with these things before sending them out to my advertisers to give a review of, see if they liked it, and most of the time they did. So that's how that's going. Let me look at my rest of my ad designs here. So yeah, here's my nominate a local business for a free space, experiment with that, or know a local business that deserves to be here. Let me know in the comments which you think would probably work better. I didn't want to have the free up there as much as maybe question that gets people to maybe enter in their own mind before they read on. So we'll see. That's those two. It's a landscaper that he was on my cold callers list of somebody that was interested. And so I'm putting him on the card for a little $300 spot. He's like, I got to find ways to bring in more business. So I'm like, listen, there's this, you can get your company out there in front of 10,000 homes. At least it's something to be trying to put yourself out there. Here was my original ad design for the gutter cleaning service. And then this was the other alternative for, helping them out with their clogged gutters. And then we ended up with doing this design here for, do you want some new rain gutters? Be dollars off of new installations on there. This is my design for the security company. So a little bit simpler, a little more cleaner design compared to last time. And let's see who else is on this one. There's I think the one I'm gonna run with for the fish farm. The pictures might come out kind of tiny on the card itself, but at least they got their big logo in there and a $1 off coupon. So maybe that'll help get them some more attention. This was in the other one. I was trying to think of what I could put in that white space there, but I think I'm just gonna go with the other one with pictures of fish. Kind of shows a sample of all the things that they offer there. This is another one here. So this is my dentist receptionist business. That's their epoxy flooring company. So they have like some other flyers that they've used in the past. So this was their flyer that they gave me. So I kind of worked off of that and, you know, enhanced the colors, grabbed some pictures off their website, off their social media, and gave them like 2 different options. I gave them like this option and then another one prior to this. And they said, okay, I like that second one, but can you add in about our 1-day garage installations? So I moved some stuff around and put it on there. So let's see who else. There's my Publix gift card. Don't scan the code because that just goes to my old entry form. I won't win you anything. I think that does about it for this one's designs. And yeah, so I probably could have like, you know, pushed to sell out a few more spaces if I wanted to really push on it, but at this point, I'm happy. Like I told somebody else recently, profit margin isn't very big. I give a lot of discounts. I price my stuff pretty low. So given a context, most of my ads here, my official pricing now is like $9.50 for the big spots, $5.50 for the single spots, and then $300 for one of these spaces, and then $175 for like, you know, the tiny little spot that nobody really buys. That's just like my kind of giveaway for local restaurants. But that's my pricing, and with the increase in postage and printing costs that have gone up, if I don't sell out the card completely, which is usually hard to do because I have a deadline in mind of when we need to get these cards out. I think the last couple cards I've averaged about like $500 to $1,000 profit on each one. But it's my experience. I price it on the lower side. I'm sending out 10,000 of these cards at those prices. Some people send out 5,000 cards at those prices, or maybe slightly cheaper, so they have a much bigger margin. But it's what I'm comfortable with selling it for. Need to listen to Alex Hormozy more probably and get myself trained to ask for more. Like he says, you should set your price at something that's just high enough that you don't smirk when you say it. So, and he always recommends at least like raising prices at least 10 to 20% just off the bat because you're probably underpricing your services. And so that would bring my price up to like more like $575 to $600. I just felt a lot of resistance when I was asking for those higher prices. So what I think I'm going to do after this next batch of cards, actually maybe for the next batch, I'm just going to start with doing 5,000 batches because I owe the painting guy one more distribution of 10,000 cards in exchange for the work that he did a couple months back. So if I just do, more 5,000 cards, then he can be on to 5,000 cards. And already what I'm doing is essentially the same thing because I'm sending out 5,000 of this next card going to Palmetto Bay and another 5,000 going to Pinecrest. So I'm already doing 5K split mailing. I'm already, doing the 2 separate 5,000 prints anyways. So I may as well adjust my pricing accordingly and capture it that way and market it that way because then I can tell instead of paying like $700 or $800, then it would just be $600. And so they see the value based on the 5,000 pricing being a lower price point, multiplying it and then giving a discount still gets me at a higher price than I'm currently doing now. So that's when I'm going to probably pitch. I'm going to tell my cold caller to pitch that more. If I do that route again, I saw Mitch Tebow's one of his most recent videos with using ChatGPT to kind of go into agent mode and send out emails automatically. And so for the next card, I'm probably going to go ahead and do that. So I've wanted to build a whole AI automation workflow with cold emails and all this other kind of stuff. But he walked through such a simple way to do it, just using a regular Gmail account, using, just a limited amount. You just set it and forget it. And it does follow-ups. It does all that kind of stuff. In agent mode, you just have to have like the pro ChatGPT for like 20 bucks a month or something in order for it to do all that. And that's a much easier lift than trying to go into instant lead or smart leads and try shooting out, like thousands of emails a day, which isn't really required for this kind of offer. There's only so many local businesses in your local area. You just want to be mindful and consistent and send them something. And at that price point of just paying for ChatGPT, it's okay to, waste some time of it sending things without getting any response because you're not putting a lot of money into it. So that's something that I'll be looking into for the next card. At the lower pricing of doing 5,000 piece cards at a time, maybe you'll get more takers on it. So that's something I'm experimenting with in my mind to go forward. Another thing, it was my birthday 2 days ago, so I just turned 41 years old. And on my birthday, I got several things. I got a Small Business Rescue Squad shirt from Jake Lorraine of High Response Marketing that I ordered back in like June or something like that. Finally got it out to me, and so I have that I can wear for videos and stuff where I talk about more of these kind of things. And I also got in the mail my magnets that are like a menu, like local restaurant menus that are magnets on the back. And then they feature little local ad spaces around the edges where you give like a stack of 500 or 1,000 magnets to a local restaurant. You don't have to go out to their customers, and you just sell the ad spaces around. So the restaurant's happy because they're getting free takeout menus to give to their customers. And then the advertisers actually get to stick right to a person's fridge at home next to something that's really valuable. This one has a football schedule here on there. Let me see if there's another one that has the actual restaurant menu. There you go, this one has a restaurant menu. And so you just sell the ad spaces around. This is an idea from another school group. It was called the Magnetic Menus, but now it's called Restaurant Profit Systems or something like that. If you go on my school community and just find my name, look at the school groups that I'm a part of, and you'll see that name in there. And so the guy that runs that community has been doing this kind of advertising for decades. And so I bought like this pack of like sample magnets. And so I can start reaching out to local restaurants with that as an offer. He also has takeout menus. He also has takeout menus that have a similar kind of style as the 9x12. You have just little simple ads around the edges and their menu on the back. And so I forget what pricing he has for those kind of ads and everything. But it's a nice little supplement, I think, to the 9x12. So looking at doing some of those, what I really want to do is find a local kind of hustler here in Miami that wants to like partner up with me and just like kind of go around doing these pitches and stuff, and I just handle all the fulfillment. But that always makes me nervous because, like people have said before, hiring a local salesperson, once they kind of get to know the business, they can easily do it themselves. That's why I kind of go more towards the outsourced route for things. But if I can find a good, honest person that's looking to make some money and partner up on this, I think we could do really well in Miami with somebody else that has like the time and space to kind of do these things. But otherwise, in the meantime, this is where we're at. What else is going on? So we have all those things. I realize it's been about 9 days since I made my last video. Like I said, my wife's birthday was like last week. My dad's birthday was last week. My birthday was this week. I also have twin nieces whose birthday was on the same day as my birthday. And I have my daughter's second birthday coming up in a couple weeks. So it's been really busy with all that kind of stuff. So I haven't had a chance to make videos, but I wanted to make this one at least today to let everybody know where everything's at. And what's coming up is I might not post as much on this channel because I'm going to shift focus momentarily, but I'll be sharing all my ideas that I realized from it on here. My parents have a Christmas tree farm out in Hawaii, and every year I do the marketing for them. I put Facebook ads, very generic kind of stuff, and it usually works, gets them some customers. But inspired again by good old Alex Hormozy and his gigantic book here. It looks like a elementary school textbook, which is just awesome in its own right. It's the first one of his books that I actually got a physical copy of, so I can actually feel it in my hands and look at it. But inspired by one of his ideas in there, and also a ChatGPT that was programmed with like all of his stuff. We've always sold Christmas trees. Makes sense. We have a Christmas tree farm. We're selling Christmas trees. And I told it like the business that we're in and everything. And it's like, you shouldn't sell Christmas trees. I'm like, okay, so what should I sell? It's like, you should sell the experience. You should sell, families coming out and picking their tree in the fields. You should sell, happiness and joy and seasonality. You're not selling a tree, because when you sell a tree, you're charging, like I told it, like we charge, $12 per foot of the tree height or whatever. He's like, that's a commodity. That's easy for people to compare and contrast other people's tree prices or whatever. Don't sell that. Sell the experience. So you have a unique, overlook of the ocean where people can pick out the tree. Sell that. Sell the experience. So we came up together, me and the ChatGPT, Hormozy version, which is all linked in my school group under the bonuses for Alex Hormozy bonuses. You can go in there and tell it all your offers and, come up with your own great ideas for your own business or for your clients' businesses, anything. Use that in there. So the idea they came up with is selling tickets for the experience. And so instead of, having people pre-order a tree for, $80, $90, $100, whatever, like we've done in the past, we'll sell one thing. We'll sell a ticket for $20, which gives them $20 credit towards whatever tree they want to buy in the forest when they come out there. And so with that model, it's an easy way to capitalize on ads because it's a low ticket kind of thing. I can run ads to sell tickets. I haven't started yet, but I should soon, because I told him to start ramping up our marketing in November. He's like, don't wait. You should be starting in September. So I'm like, thank you. So I'm going to be starting in September. So I'm going to be shifting focus a little bit after I get this last 9x12 card out to just start running a bunch of ads for that and building out this side of the business for my parents. And I've told her, we have a goal of selling so many trees, and it's like, all right, with this, we have to do this and that. So we'll do our funnel, our flow is going to be ad for a ticket, experience ticket, $20. They buy that ticket. Then they can schedule the time to come out and reserve their time at the forest. That way, they can have a guaranteed parking spot or whatever is the idea. And then by doing that, it gets us on their calendar, so it's harder for them to forget. And also part of that funnel will be an offer to, hey, if you're going to love this experience, wouldn't you love to give the gift of a holiday experience to 10 friends, families, and coworkers, whatever. Just $200, you can buy 10 tickets to give away to everybody. So this might sound familiar if you saw the Hormozy book launch, but that's exactly what he did, getting people to buy 200 copies of this to donate to people. And so that's how he crushed world records and had the biggest book launch in history, because of that extra donate piece on the back. So after somebody buys a $20 ticket, they can donate $20 to 10 $20 tickets to their friends. They decline that, then we can just give them hey, how about if you just donate 3 to, best friends and family. You can be looked at like Santa Claus and give them the experience and do that. Okay, so that'll be that front end funnel. After that, another idea came out with, thanks to his $100 million leads book, is referrals. And using referrals. I had an idea in the past where I had a whole ambassador system where it was you just show these cards to your friends. If they come out and tell us your name when they get it, you'll get $10 towards your tree the following year. Didn't really work. I think we had 2 or 3 people take us up on the offer and have a referral come out. But it's not automated. It's very hard for my parents to track and everything. And so what I'm going to do instead is with my Go High Level account. So with that, there's an affiliate manager in there where I'm going to put in that $20 ticket as the item and then program it so that referrals, you get a referral link, and anybody that buys a ticket through your referral link gets $10. And the way it works, it just goes to a PayPal kind of, all the money goes into the PayPal account, and then you can pay out from PayPal to the affiliates for their rewards. And so then it's actually actual cash back that they can see at the end of it. And so that will be the virality of it. So if somebody bought 10 copies for all their friends, great, we just collected $200 and 10 leads. And then, which that $200 actually goes towards, discount on the tree. So we're actually not really making any more money, but it's just as a way to basically get those leads for free and kind of get paid on the front end for that. And then for any referrals that come in, we'll give out $10 to everybody that sends us a referral. And then we just have that lead that, we gain $10 off of as a discount towards their tree. So it ends up it having a potential viral hook there. Another thing that I'm working on for them is local nonprofits. One person reached out asking about like having their PTSA for their middle school. I kind of have some kind of fundraising for them. So I'm thinking about for them having a specific referral code for that PTSA. And for every $20 ticket they sell, they get all $20. And so it's a great fundraising drive for them. They can raise a bunch of money for their PTSA, and we get just those leads. So essentially, we're getting free marketing, free advertising into these different schools or nonprofits, and they get the benefit of, keeping all the money that they collect back to them. So these are all ideas that I'm going to be working on and focusing on over the next couple weeks. So you might see less content about EDDM and all that kind of stuff on this channel. I'm going to be shifting my focus to my parents' Christmas tree farm, building up their YouTube, because I never really did much on YouTube for them before. But I'm going to start posting a bunch of videos on that. I've always done Instagram and everything else like that before, but just seeing how this YouTube channel has grown, I'm going to be probably talking more like about the business and what I'm doing to promote the business on the actual business channel, instead of talking about the trees and the experience, because sometimes that's a lot more interesting. There's another Christmas tree farm. I think it's like Woods Tree Farm or something. He has like 20,000 followers on YouTube for his Christmas tree farm, because he just talks about the business of the Christmas tree farm. And so I'm gonna talk about that, talk about the promotions, talk about the tickets, talk about all that kind of stuff that I'm doing for them out there. It'll be interesting for people in Hawaii to see, a local business that's, hustling and trying to make ways to make money into their own marketing efforts and everything else. And then, so that's my goal for the next couple months, will be doing that. Probably put out another 9x12 card, maybe in the new year, after Christmas. Maybe I'll do one before then. I'll reach out to my advertisers, see if they want to do one between Thanksgiving and Christmas. If it's easy enough to fill, then I might do that. But otherwise, I'm going to shift my focus to like really help my parents make good sales this year at their Christmas tree farm, because the last couple of years I kind of slacked on my marketing efforts for them, and I really want to kind of knock it out of the park this year, putting into practice some of these things that I've been learning. And I'll be sharing all of that here, what I've learned along the way with this channel after the fact. But if you want to follow along what I'm doing there, it's called Hamakua Christmas Tree Forest, and I'll be doing the same kind of videos. This is the only time I have to make videos, so it'll be the same style. So it might be kind of a cognitive dissonance for Hawaii, seeing a person drive around in Miami talking about a tree forest out there, but it's what I can do, it's what I will do. So that's what I'm working on. I'm also working with a bunch of local businesses out there to put together like a coupon card, kind of like a 9x12, but maybe like 6.5x12, featuring local holiday themed businesses, and getting a bunch of coupons for them. And then anybody that's on the card gets a stack of like 1,000 of these cards to give out to their customers, like a co-op kind of coupon book thing for the holidays. And of course, the biggest brand on there will be our Christmas tree farm. So we get exposure into, say, these 10 or 12 other businesses that, are all also holiday themed. And it just spreads out the leads to all of the different businesses that are on there that might be interested in stuff, like handcrafted soaps and ornament makers and sea glass crystals. I just did a post in one of their Big Island community Facebook groups, asking for recommendations for what people like to spend on in the holidays, and got a bunch of people that are interested in doing that. So that'll be another project. So I have a lot of things that I want to do for that business. So you might see me less active here, but if you want to see what I'm doing, you can follow there. But yeah, that's about it. I know this has been on the longer side of things, but I hope it's been interesting and that you get a lot out of it. If you want, leave a comment below about what you think about the ad designs that I have on the card so far. Let me know what you think about my marketing strategy for the Christmas tree forest. If this is your first time finding me, thank you. You're welcome to be here. Definitely check out a bunch of my other videos that I have specifically about EDDM and getting into the direct mail business. Probably one of my best ones is what to do to get started. It's a couple videos back. Find that. But in the meantime, give it a like, give it a subscribe. Thank you to everybody that's on me, over 450 subscribers. That's amazing. Thank you for everybody that's found me on school and has joined the school group. That's over 240 members now, I think. So I haven't been very active in there. I need to get more content put in there to help you all out. If there's anything that you guys want to see more of, let me know, and I'll be happy to make some content around it as I can. But in the meantime, this is it. I'm almost at work. Traffic is crazy, so that's why I can do a 40-minute long video, just driving on the way to work for my 9 to 5. But thank you all so much. I will be in touch again soon, at least with something along the way, talking about all these different ventures that I'm working on. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a great autumn season, fall season, wherever you're at. If you get more seasons than I do here, we're in like kind of eternal summer here in Miami, where it's just always hot and humid. But at least it's starting to turn a little bit. So hopefully wherever you're at in the world, you're having a nice time getting ready for the holiday season. I know business usually picks up for a lot of people at this time of the year. So hopefully you can find a way to leverage that into your own business and start making some more money going into the holiday season for yourself. So with that said, thank you so much. Give a like, give a subscribe. I will see you next time. Take care. Bye.